Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to talk about conflict. Can you be confrontational and non-confrontational at the same time? Yes. The answer is unequivocally yes. There is a time and a place for it, though. The only time that you should ever get into a confrontation or an altercation with somebody else is as if you're being threatened, or someone close to you is being threatened, or if it's someone who is indefensible, like an elderly person, or or a woman or a child. Those are the only times where you should ever step in. Period. You should not engage with somebody else because they're talking shit to you, or because you're drunk and your emotions. That's why I'm not a huge fan of alcohol or getting drunk, is because you inevitably thrust yourself into situations like that where you're emotional and your inhibitions are lowered, and so your first inclination is to react emotionally. And usually in a bar setting, you will want to fight somebody because they pissed you off. That's not a good way to go, and it most certainly isn't a good way to go when you're sober, right? When someone else is, men do this a lot, right? We're very dominating, thick skin. I mean, some of us are thin skinned too, right? But that's the whole point. If you lash out at somebody, or if you get angry with somebody, how much of your masculinity are you really showing? Or is it just insecurity? Is it just the fact that you're super thin-skinned and you've never developed the skills necessary to just brush it off and ignore them? Your first inclination is to pop off or to get angry, and you shouldn't do that. Number one, it doesn't make you, you're not winning the fight. Number two, it doesn't make you look good. Number three, it doesn't make you look safe to other women, because who's to say, if you're willing to just always get into fights with other guys, why wouldn't you get violent or physical with your girlfriend or your wife, or if you have a daughter? Right. Well, Matt, it's different because those are other men, and men love to look how you treat certain situations, how you present yourself. They say that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're somebody who's known to be wiling out and to be getting angry and to be reacting when it's not time to react, well, then it's going to bleed into to other aspects of your life. It's going to start affecting your other relationships too. But that doesn't mean that, because you're not always looking to get into fights, you're not always beating your chest and look at me, look at how masculine I am. I work out. I train. I have a good body. I have a six-pack. Those are all good qualities. Those are all good things. Don't get me wrong, but you shouldn't at the same time just completely ignore your masculinity, right? I mean, that part of it is toxic masculinity, right? Where you're just constantly you're combative, you're ready to lash out, but at the same time, you shouldn't just sit back and just completely go feminine, right? Where all you do is write poems and you write and you write for music and that, I mean, that's all you do, right? But then and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with music, there's nothing wrong with writing poems whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with crying, Like, I feel like as a man, it's important to be able to cry whenever you need to cry. Whether it's in front of other men, whether it's in front of your wife, especially your wife or your girlfriend. because they're emotional creatures, and they just want to bring that side of you out of its shell. You know, that's why that dynamic works so well. It's not because you guys are opposites and, you know, you're the opposite sex and you know, you can procreate and it works, but it also works because you guys can, because men and women balance each other out perfectly. But you should be ready to go. You should be able to fight, and you should be already in good peak physical condition. So there's a balancing act there, but you should never ever get into fights or confrontations over, number one, inconveniences, number two, name calling, number three, someone talks shit to you, number four, someone's doing something to piss you off. Those are no go in my book, guys, and they don't make you look masculine. They don't make you look like a leader. All it does is make you look like a child. All it does is make you look like an insecure little bitch. And that's all I'm going to go ahead and say on that. But that's all that's all I really have to talk about today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it brought value. If it did, share it with your friends and your family. Subscribe to me on YouTube at Collectively Fearless. Follow me on Instagram at it's Matt_eyes. And don't forget to catch me this Sunday for a good 4th of July celebration. You can catch me live. You can catch me in person. Whatever you want to do. So anyway, guys, hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you again soon.